Anyway, let's talk about Amber Heard then and her performance
Yeah.
and see what similarities they are, because for me, when I watched the Amber Heard stuff, and I didn't pay too much attention to it when it was going on as it was, because I don't like getting kind of caught up in those massive cultural moments where everybody's bias is in your face and your head just spins. I don't like it. It's like being in a room full of people you don't want to know that are just talking at you and you've got to talk back to them. It's just really weird and it's massively uncomfortable.
I I
So
definitely watched a lot of it, but not live. I didn't watch any of it live because there was too many people. I didn't need to. God bless YouTube and the internet because there's all these people that put the best bits on social media and on their YouTube channel, so you can watch like the best 20 minutes of the day. And for me, the things that were fascinating was Johnny Depp's sense of humor, like when it was like a really large pint or something. I can't
yeah.
remember exactly how, and because of his drinking wine and stuff like that, and it kind of leaned into just sort of how absurd this is, and that they were saying things that um so you're not listening to what you've said, and Johnny Depp is actually able to make a joke on the stand in front of you. This isn't
Yeah.
going the way that you think that question was going to go because you're kind of grasping at straws almost in your defense. And one of the things I didn't realize until you brought up the Amber Heard thing during the week, and I watched it back and I looked into it, and I think it was when we were talking yesterday, I was reading about it. I think if I remember correctly, the legal team she had was the fifth set of lawyers she had to hire because they all kept leaving, which kind of like, oh, that should have been, how can I put it? Not the reason I say that should have been your first warning is because they would have left because of the angle you were trying to play.
Yes.
And at some point, they would have probably, and I'm assuming, I don't know, somebody would have pointed out you need damage limitation, not defend yourself, because this isn't going to go the way. For lawyers to give up on a case and like, I'm not representing this, that means you are trying to get the wrong result, and I don't want to be associated with it.
And also the other point, if you're so when Johnny Depp can get up on a stand and he can kind of make a joke at the absurdity of something, that's not rehearsed. That's
No,
from memory. So you
yes,
can only do that in that instance if it's from memory. You can't rehearse that because you didn't know it was coming. But Amber Heard, with everything she says, nothing comes from memory. It's a rehearsal, and you can tell by the delivery, by the way they say things. When Johnny Depp speaks, he speaks literally to his lawyer or to the lawyer, to the person asking him questions. He doesn't turn around every few minutes and look at the jury for a sympathetic glance. Whereas Amber Heard does this a lot.
yeah,
And then she makes those grimacing faces in the same way I mentioned just Erika
Erica Kirk,
Kirk
yeah,
did, where it's like I'm supposed to be showing emotion, so I'm going to use some of my acting skills here, but we can see that they're poorly portrayed acting skills because you've no director there, love. You are your own director now, and you've put yourself as a lamb to the slaughter because what you're showing us or what you think you want us to see isn't real, and
and
people aren't stupid.
also like presentation is an important thing in these situations, and she's no fool. So I didn't understand. Do you like we were talking about the kind of with Erica Kirk and the way she's turned up in spangled suits, leather pants, and stuff like that. I wouldn't. Erica Kirk should have looked more like Amber Heard on the stand, like some. It looks like some 18th, 19th century sort of, mid-American grieving widow. Do you know what I mean? Somebody that's broken, somebody that's lost their shine. Amber Heard with all her talk about confident women, woman's lifestyle. She 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 went in there. I don't know what she was trying to portray because nobody's ever seen her dress like that. No one's ever seen her look like that, and it was the opposite of what she was saying. And as you and I talked during the week, we mentioned that thing like the glaring problems with you said you made a statement that you were going to donate all of this money. Well, I have pledged all the money. Yes, but you haven't given any of the money. The money is still in your bank account. A couple of years later, that money is all in your bank account. You haven't handed over any of it to any charity. Would you like to do it now, sort of thing? Well, I've pledged it. I've said that I've made a pledge that I would donate money. Yeah, but you haven't. You haven't done any of it. It's just a statement, and we're several years down the line, and nothing's happened. And she couldn't change her. It was like a stuck record. And
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And it was Johnny Depp's lawyer that was saying, yes, you pledged it. We accept, we acknowledge that, but it's not donated yet. You still have it. And there's where
yeah,
she goes in, well, I use pledge and donated synonymously. Well, and she goes, well, misheard. I don't use pledge and donated synonymously. They're very different words, which they are.
yeah.
They mean completely different things. One's a promise to do something. One is an action that's been done.
And then it
So
highlights again this kind of misconceived idea of what you thought was going to happen on the stand. It's almost the like this should be one of those school learning programs of cognitive dissonance in the wrong echo chamber because somebody sat down and said like, look guys, who cares what the facts are? And they've, it's like, hey Amber, you said you were going to give people a load of money, didn't you? Right, it's still in your bank account. Did you want to pledge all of that money? Did you want to like sign the checks? This is just like didn't matter what she said. Again, like the recording of her having a conversation with Johnny Depp because she'd shit on the bed. So how did you think the public would receive that? The perception, anything you say moving forward, you're just a homeless tramp.
yeah, you've literally shit all over that perception, no pun intended.
Yeah, because because there are, you've shit on top of your bed in an argument with Johnny Depp, and
It's
he's
weird.
of it.
It's very weird. But it takes me to the Evan Rachel Wood thing as well. And it's Amber Heard and Evan Rachel Wood did exactly the same thing. When they come out in public after making these allegations, suddenly their whole look changed. And it's literally like, well, acting 101, if we look the part and say the right things, people will just believe us. Well, actually, no, because when you act, we're not believing what people are telling us on screen. We're watching a story told by a director, and you're just an
Yeah,
actor in that story. So we're not believing it in the same sense. So you can't translate that then to real life and suddenly put on a two-piece with with cardigan and your top and look all demure, or put a suit on and have a high neck up there when it's not normally what you'd wear because that's not who you are. It's not who you've ever been. And
no,
suddenly and then you're suddenly saying all these things. And the other thing, the virtue signaling, which is the thing that gets me, is I'm not doing this just for me. I'm doing it for all the women that don't have a platform, that have been raped and can't speak up or whatever else. I'm like, which one of those asked you to do that for them?
yeah.
Who asked you to do something on behalf of someone else? Why are
Mm.
you the virtuous person that's suddenly all righteous and all amazing that you can speak up for other people just because you think you've been in the same situation, which we can clearly see you're probably not being completely honest about?
And also, there's that thing is when you jump on the I'm doing this for others, nobody asked you to shit on a bed for me. No one. There's nobody out there that said, look, would you mind taking a huge shit in protest for this? And so it doesn't back, but it doesn't. It just doesn't back up, does it? It's like, don't if you can have a big meal first and hold it in, yeah? All right, and then we'll just make this one massive dump. It's one huge deposit on the duvet, and we'll mark it as a protest. Nobody asks